Hi Scorpio, here is a general look at your solar chart for May 2016, and here's Diana reporting to you from a camper van somewhere in Europe. So I thought I'd just mention a planet that I don't usually mention when I'm speaking about what's going on, or what could be going on for your sign for the month, and that planet is Pluto. And it's an important planet for you because it's your ruling planet. Now, since 2008, Pluto has been in your communications sector, and it's really in a very positive, I wouldn't exactly call Pluto helpful, but not an unhelpful. In fact, it can be beneficial. You've got to go through some levels with it of understanding, but it is beneficial. The actual angle that Pluto is sitting at related to your sun sign in your sign is very helpful, and it will be particularly felt by you Scorpios born in the first week of November at the moment, or you Scorpios with 16 to 18 degrees rising. And thinking, speaking, writing, other mediums of self-expression, creative self-expression, will be transforming. Now you will be learning deeper understanding and getting more insight, and because of that you will understand that knowledge is power. So on a completely sort of mundane level, if you were to be studying something which gives you then the certificate, which is like your qualification for something, that gives you a power, and it gives you an identity, it gives you a status in this world. So that kind of knowledge is power. If you start reading between the lines and even getting telepathic and get interested in maybe the higher centers of human nature, that gives you a power. Pluto is a snake energy, actually. So Pluto can be about snake charming, or indeed mesmerism or hypnotism as well. And maybe you find that because you've gone along some of the path of accruing and acquiring this power through knowledge, through language, through reading between the lines and a deeper understanding of human psychology or animal psychology or any kind of psychology, that you have a power over, or an ability to kind of snake charm people, because you have an understanding outside of the small consciousness that they're in. I mean, Pluto is about power, so it can really deepen you, but on the stages to get to that, you've got to go down to Pluto's underworld within yourself. You've got to ask yourself really kind of deep questions about your own behavior, about your own attitude, your own approach, how you go through the world maybe blindly in some areas. And so this long transit, and it is a long one, it's 2008 to 2024, so it's a long one. You will definitely reach a level of, I would say, probably first, in fact definitely first, self-understanding about your own patterns and your own influences really from childhood, and your own attitudes, maybe some of which were another person's attitude, it wasn't really your own in the first place. And then getting on top of that and not allowing that to dominate your thinking and cloud your thinking from the actual clarity really that is probably better for you to have, or is better for us all to have. And then that power of Pluto, once you reach those truths, that's where you find that power, and that's where you can either use that power wisely or not, but you can definitely be more in control. So you can be more in mastery of yourself, but you can get more control over others through how you speak, or what you speak about, what you write, what you put out through the media, what you can intuit or deduce in a detective type way. This is a great transit for those of you. I mean, you Scorpios are already pretty kind of psychic and perceptive, but this one here will deepen that. You can develop that more, and you can end up having an influence. Maybe you are exposing things. Literally, you know, the woodworm in the rotten joists in an attic. I mean, you know, you or exposing things about what's going on in politics or religion, or, you know, any of these areas where our thinking is kind of manipulated by the media anyway. And religion, of course, and what really goes on in the background. So this is bringing things to light, whether it's woodworm in the rafters, or whether it's the rot in the places of power in our world. I mean, it's up to you. Take it as far as you like. Also, Pluto is about fanaticism. So, you know, it's wherever Pluto is for any of us, we need to find the control of it, because, you know, it's so easy for us to slip over into that underworld ourselves. So go through the underworld and up and out into the sunlit uplands would be my advice, because then that's life affirming, that's healthy, it's feel good, rather than being in a kind of shady, and Pluto is about shady people, shady ideas, unscrupulous people, the underworld, and if you dwell on those low levels or in fanaticism, then that maybe is your choice. And but maybe if you knew that that was just a stage on the way to getting to your truth and your real power, maybe then that would that kind of motivate you to push forwards. And I shouldn't think any of you watching this are probably dwelling in there, because you wouldn't be thinking of looking at astrology to find out, you know, how you can improve your life anyway. So, and Pluto does rule the underworld, fanaticism, and on these low levels, words like grooming and radicalizing come to mind. I mean, I can't help it, but they do, you see. And there's something mesmerizing about Pluto. There's something that Pluto can do, particularly in these communication areas, that sucks others in. Now, if you're providing a service, or you're trying to present something to the world which you're passionate about, you know is life affirming, is going to help others and empower others in some way, then this position of Pluto can make you very persuasive and make you a powerful speaker. Or in some way, you know, if you're promoting something. So I just wanted you to know this. So part of the opportunity of this Pluto transit from Capricorn is to understand another's motivations more deeply, once you've understood your own first. The subtext, what you were indoctrinated with, but there's subtext. You're not going to be able to see that really until you've kind of clarified your own, and you realize how we get hooked onto somebody else's agenda, somebody else's story. We get scripted in a way. So Pluto position here is great for pulling all that up, bringing all that up to the surface. And so some of you might get more attracted and interested in psychology, psychic work, training which teaches skills which strongly affect others' perceptions in some way, which kind of opens up their eyes to certain things, because it's an amazing planet for research. As well, and bringing things to light, as I've said before. You must be careful not to channel this controlling side of Pluto, because, yeah, I mean, a tyrant, all the big tyrants would have had strong Pluto or Pluto transits, or both, in fact. But there is a kind of sneaky way that Pluto works, and I mustn't talk too long about this, which is being moody, kind of being that sort of smoldering, smoky, sulky, secretive. I wonder why they're all S's, snake-like words. Because then, if you're withholding, if you're elusive, if you're moody, that then gets others' sympathy, or it makes them a bit nervous, and then you can get control over them. So, I mean, you wouldn't be doing that, would you? Or just undiplomatic, you know, downright nasty, which hurts their feeling, which then puts them on the back foot, which opens them up, and then again, you know, you can get the control. Or it might not be that way. It might be the other way around. Somebody is being moody and dominant and wants to dominate you. Someone is being hurtful and to you. You see, that's another way around this can work. Pluto is also about surgical type things as well, especially when it couples up with Mars through transit. So some of you may have to undergo this kind of thing during a strong hit from Pluto. But remember what I said at the beginning. Pluto's in a really helpful angle to your sun sign, so it'll probably work out okay. But before you commit yourself to anything like that, get to the bottom of what is really going on. Get right down to the root of somebody else's thinking, advising you like that. And it might not be the mainstream where you have to go where Pluto is. It might be complementary, it might be alternative. So this is definitely a time for more self-questioning, questioning of others. Great for really hard-hitting, not mincing words kind of journalism into again, the shady areas, the unclear areas, but initially self-understanding, self-questioning, and reflecting more deeply upon the behavior of others is going to help you with your own approach. So it can work the other way around as well, of course. Okay, so for the more regular things this month, in brief, we have the Sun in your opposite sign. Of course, we've got the Sun, Mercury, and Venus all in your opposite sign, which means that you do better in teaming up, you do better in cooperation. You and another could be bouncing ideas off each other. You could be more on one-to-one with another, and it could be not just one other, like your meaningful, significant other, but maybe others that it's important for you. There's something they have that you can that's advantageous for you in some way, knowledge or whatever it is. Or indeed the other way around, your knowledge is being advantageous for somebody else. It can be like that, or it can be that you're just teaming up and you're pulling the weight together with somebody. Venus there is really, really nice, and that can mean that you are it oils the wheels in your relationship. It boosts your love life. It can make things flow more easily in business type relationships as well. And some of you could be, sharing more. You're very much sharing with another, maybe making new friends or new associates at least. And then Venus, the Sun moves on the 21st, and Venus moves on the 24th, and then they go into a deeper sort of area, which is clearing the decks for new beginnings. It's deeper feelings. It's more emotional. It's more introspective as well. So more about that next month. Then just to mention that Mercury's going backwards until the 22nd, so that might slow things down. That might mean that you have to really dot the I's and cross the T's on things. You've got to be more careful in this hearing thing that I was saying to you before, and not getting crossed wires with someone, or travel plans being messed up in some way. Make sure you've heard clearly what is being said, or read clearly what's being said, or indeed they that you're conveying to have heard clearly what you're saying. Mars is also retrograde all month, so this is the time to be strategic, to be not going in full strength on something, but it's to be kind of oblique, kind of subtle in if you've got to confront somebody on something, just kind of getting your ducks in a row at this stage, rather than anything else. And then Mars is demanding that you put more effort and decisiveness into getting organized, getting your act together in a physical or security orientated sense, getting organized with location, your stuff, property, in practical ways, in practical hands-on sorts of ways. And then, of course, from the 28th, Mars comes back into your sign. So there's a big wave of energy that comes in there, a lot of hustle and bustle for you personally, with your personal targets and goals, etc. Saturn, of course, is in the sign after yours, launching you into anything which helps with your material security, working hard on that, and improving quality of life, capitalizing on whatever resource you have at your disposal. That's equipment, that's tools, that's your skills, but it's also your inherent talents, and seeing how you can maximize the potential of those. And regularly and consistently develop them, or develop your resources regularly and consistently. This is here until the end of 2017. Scorpio is born the 3rd to the 7th of November with 12 to 16 degrees rising. Going to feel it mostly at the moment. And then until September, Jupiter is in a very good angle to your sun sign, as well as Pluto. Those two together are really powerful for you. So you're having to deal with Saturn, I know, and you're having to deal with, what's the other thing you're having to deal with? Mars being in the same area as Saturn this month. But, tap into what your allies want to offer you, because it's infinite, their power. So Jupiter is in a fortunate angle to your sun sign. Jupiter is helping you to grow and learn through networking, new associations, new friendships, cultivating the contacts that you need, and working within a collective of others who are also maybe, you can capitalize on that financially in some way. It's quite a techno area, so the internet may be involved here. Also a group of like-minded people who have an interest in common, collaborating with them, gathering together with them, and over this phase, and you could feel enabled by them, and but they could feel enabled by you. But both sides are going to be learning a lot from each other. So, being interested on others' take. So get feedback from them, because that's how you're going to be learning, and therefore, and thereafter you can give feedback to them as well. This is a very progressive position for you to have Jupiter. So things that have been on the back burner, things that you've been waiting to do, or really waiting to go to drive forwards with, you can start to do that now over these months. Although at the moment, as I say, Mars is retrograde, so keeping your powder dry, but getting clearer and clearer every day about how you want it to be, and pulling that towards you, because you guys, you Scorpios, you're manifestors. Scorpio and Scorpio rising. Scorpio rising 12 to 15 degrees. Scorpio is born 3rd to the 6th of November. Going to feel this the most at the moment. And that's it for May. If you know your rising sign and your moon sign, listen to those. And also this is written up on my website, DianaGarland.com, if you're interested in reading on it about anything that I've said. Probably there's a bit more on there than I've said. And I'll see you the next time.